So I'm going to compare two different platforms that are used for voice AI solutions. One of them is called Vapi.AI. The other one is called ClearTalk.ai. Now they both have their actual pros and cons, but I'm going to kind of go through, hey, you should use this for this case scenario, and you should use this one for this case scenario. So let's jump straight into all these different use cases. So let's jump straight into it. You guys are probably wondering, what provider should I use? When should I use them? And what I'm going to do today is actually compare a platform called Vapi.AI and another platform called ClearTalk.ai. And I'm going to tell you, this is when you should use this is when you should use this, and all the different pros and cons of each of them, right? So let's actually show you what the platforms look like. So to see, I'm going to start with ClearTalk. This is ClearTalk. It's kind of a SaaS platform, right? So they make it a lot more SaaS compatible, which is an interesting method to do it with, right? So they have the dashboard, which is kind of showing like, hey, these are all the calls. They have all the dispositions. They have all of that essentially into their toolkit, and it's natively built in. So it makes it super seamless for an integration, and it's mostly meant for like a go high level integration. So let's kind of show you a quick jump start on how to actually create an agent, what that looks like. So they make it super seamless. All you have to do is click on the outbound agent, put in a name, choose a voice, and they have all these different voices, right? So with these voices, these are pre-built and pre-tested, so they know, hey, these voices perform outside of the thousands, if not tens of thousands, different voices that there are. You choose the high-level calendar, so I just click right there, it's connected. You make a task, so this is like the actual script, and then questions are like the actual custom fields that you're going to want to output, so it automatically dispositions and automatically outputs all the different actions, right? And they have set things such as like call settings, so if you want to customize it even more, you can choose like the first sentence, voicemail action, do you want to hang up, leave a message, max duration for the phone calls, different languages. They have a bunch of different languages here. Select the model, so this is like the GPT model, enhanced, base, turbo, GPT. Do you want to use pathways? Because they actually have pathways. Maybe you want to do voice speed, interruption threshold, temperature for how crazy it's actually going to be, stability, speed, all these different actions, and they just make it a little bit more customizable if you want to. The default still works perfectly, right? They have punctuation guides, which is something that not a lot of AIs actually have. So if there's like a name and the name is Emily, for example, Emily, right? So you can have different pronunciations. So if there's complex words or different pronunciations that you actually want to utilize, you can throw that in there, and it makes it super easy, right? So you have that. You can connect the phone numbers. You have a knowledge base if you want knowledge base information, all of this different stuff. And then the in-call actions, of course. They have transferring the calls, and you can transfer to multiple things, different scenarios. They have webhooks for like outbound webhooks. They have GET requests. If you want to GET request from some sort of data, you can send an SMS during the call, all that different stuff. So these webhooks, which is sending stuff out, this is pretty customizable, and if you want to make like a make automation behind it because you want something more complex, that's always possible. So if you want to send like an email, for example, or send some sort of data to another CRM middle of a phone call, that's always possible. That's for outbound. Inbound's the exact same thing. And then they have pathways, which are pretty cool. So this will kind of say, hey, this is more a defined flow for the conversation. You can do a lot more with it. So instead of having like 3 separate scenarios, 3 separate agents transfer to the different agent, you can put one agent in there and have it be a lot more custom, which is pretty cool, right? And then the campaigns. So they make the auto campaigns actually really easy. It's based off a tagging system and go high level. So you just choose, hey, what do you want to do, right? And you just kind of turn that on and all that different stuff, right? Makes it super easy. Scheduled campaigns, so you can schedule it pretty much the exact same thing. So let's say you want to choose this number, insert, yes, and then the system has your Twilio phone number. You can have the contacts in here, so if you want to have all the contacts in here, right, you can import them, or you can use the My Contacts and look in like go high level, anything like that, right? You integrate Twilio so you can purchase a number or authenticate it. Authenticate just means, hey, let me throw on my Twilio credentials, right? Integrations wise, they have high-level, cal.com, webhooks. There's more that are coming soon, but they also have a Zapier integration, which is pretty cool. Call recordings, this is just a list of all the phone calls, which is pretty nice. Knowledge base, so you can build out the knowledge base, upload the file, and it's super easy if you want to throw that in there. You have my profile, sub-users, and there's a billing system for each of the customers. So if you want to throw like the credit in there, you can see all your different billing, how much you want to pay, all that different stuff, right? It makes it pretty cool. So that's kind of how all this works, super easy, and they make it a lot more seamless to build on this. Now, the alternative that we're talking about today is Vapi. So Vapi is more of a developer platform, as you can see from their homepage, Voice AI for developers, right? So this is a lot more useful for custom build-outs. So if you have a customer that wants a custom CRM, they want everything integrated in theirs, they want this, they want that, HIPAA compliance, that's all going to be done through Vapi. So the way Vapi works is, hey, you want to throw your assistant in here, you build the prompting. It's a little bit easier UI-wise, but it's a lot more automations-wise, right? So this is what the actual prompting looks like, and you have a lot more customizations, like you can choose the transcriber, you can choose from thousands of different voices, 11 labs, all these different ones. You make custom functions, so these are all completely custom. They have an advanced tab like HIPAA compliance, audio recording, voice recording, all these different things that you can add, right? So this is more for a lot of the different custom build-outs, and they have an analysis too, right? Natively, they do have some sort of dashboard that you can utilize, but there's no rebilling system, at least native. You can build one, but it takes a lot of extra work, right? And usually, these are not functional unless you actually build automations behind them. So they don't have any native integrations for booking. They don't have anything native. You got to build some functions like this and send them to like a make scenario, for example, like this one goes to make. And then you have to build an automation like this that'll be like, hey, these are the available times, this is the booking, send the data through, and you kind of got to format that correctly, right? So that's how all this works, and those are the two platforms that we're actually going to compare today. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the actual pros and cons and the actual statistics about these platforms. So I'm going to go through a couple different categories. This first one is going to be the sound capabilities and the voices, the response time, stuff like that. So Vapi has about 2,000 different voices, right? And this is good and bad because you have to find your own voice. You have to say, hey, this one's great, this one's okay, all these different things. The response time is about 950 milliseconds. You can get this a little bit lower down to like 700 milliseconds, or if you're using different voices, different transcribers, different GPTs, this might even be as much as like 1200, 1300 milliseconds. So you can change it and customize it however you want. ClearTalk has about 20 different proven voices that they say, hey, these are awesome voices, we know they work, we know they're going to bring you results. So this makes it a lot more simple, but a little bit less capability. But it depends on your goals. Maybe you're going for simple, maybe you're going for capabilities, right? So those are the two different choices, and this is just a simple compare and contrast chart. The next part is the simplicity of the platform. Like, what are you trying to implement? Is the customer high budget and they have high needs? Or are they, hey, I don't have a lot of budget, I just need something built out and I need it to work, right? So it depends on your goals. So Vapi, as we said, it's a developer platform. So it's super customizable, super flexible, and it requires technical expertise. So the average Joe, they're not going to be able to build on this. It's going to take a lot of learning, a lot of, hey, test this, YouTube video this, YouTube video that, and they're not going to be able to build it right off the bat. It's going to take a lot of technical skills. With ClearTalk, they have a simplified platform. It's a couple different buttons, and you just click, 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 and you have an assistant built out. Now it's native for Go High Level and cal.com, but it makes it a lot simpler. So if your customers are Go High Level, or if maybe they're cal.com, then cool, ClearTalk is the way, right? If they're Vapi, they have a lot more budget, they want something super custom, then cool, let's go on Vapi, let's use a custom build out, let's use a third-party platform, right? So that's kind of the difference. So this is kind of overview. Hey, which one do you want? Do you want the plug and play approach, or do you want super customizable systems, integrations wise, so let's see which one is more integratable. So Vapi actually integrates with any third-party CRM. If you have some sort of API to the platform, cool, you can integrate with it, you can build on top of it, and you can build pretty crazy things that not many people in this market actually have utilizing Vapi. Now, this is a good and a bad thing because it takes a lot more time, it's a lot more expensive for these build-outs, but if you want top quality, top of the market, Vapi is where to go, right? But if you have a customer, hey, I just need something to work, I need this build out, I need it this, I need it that, ClearTalk. That's what you're going to want to do. It's streamlined for specific use cases, so it has a really good booking functionality, but if you need it for customer service, it gets a little bit more complex, right? So that's kind of what that looks like. Feature set. So the features wise, Vapi has completely flexible APIs, so you can get things, you can send things through, you can send a webhook and actually wait for a response. So it'll send it through, the make automation will, for example, reply back to you, and it'll send that all through. Now, this is good, as I said before, but it's also bad, has the pros and cons. ClearTalk, now this is a little bit easier. It just kind of has an integration with cal.com and go high level. It'll book the appointments, it'll integrate with that, send the data through into the notes, update pipeline. It'll do all that, but it won't have the completely customizable actions for everything, right? So it really depends on your goals. Are you a developer or do you just need something that works right now, tomorrow, right? So the different use cases, Vapi, you can book appointments with it. It'll book appointments, it'll check product availability. Maybe you have a Shopify store, you can check the availability, you can take payments on it, you can make it PCI compliant, all of that different stuff. You can also make it HIPAA compliant, which is pretty cool. You can handle customer service, so you can pull up tickets, send tickets through, all that different requests, you can put that all directly through. Now the booking reservations, if you want to do like a booking for a restaurant, you can send that through. Maybe you want to do it for a restaurant, you want to actually take payments on the phone, and you want to house, maybe like the customer wants a cheeseburger, they want some fries, you can actually send that order through, auto bill the customer, send it to the restaurant. That's a lot more easy to build out on Vapi. You can have it PCI compliant, which is really nice because otherwise you can't actually take payments on the phone. Otherwise you need to send them an invoice, makes it a little bit more complex, different, right? But PCI compliance is great. Now, this is also best used for like advanced enterprise solutions. So if you have an enterprise client, they want something crazy, this is a great option for that. And you can actually do real complex workflows if they don't have like some simple thing that they need built out. This is for real customization. ClearTalk, they use kind of a more clear approach. It's funny, clear and clear, right? So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to use it for like booking appointments, maybe basic customer service tasks, frequently asked questions, stuff like that, and just business communication. So it's a lot more simple, and if the customer isn't complex, they don't have all this, third-party CRMs, integrate with everything, then ClearTalk is a lot simpler in this regard. So this is kind of a chart that shows, hey, these are the different things. Now, comparative analysis, so let's kind of analyze like what you're actually going to need. You're going to need a real technical team to actually build these out. Because the average Joe, like I said, the average Joe can't really build out a Vapi system. It's going to take a lot of learning, a lot of this, a lot of that. Maybe you need SOPs for it. You got to teach the customer how to utilize it, or you have to make it really simple on their end, right? This is meant for enterprise companies, like real large companies who have a lot of people they need to call. They need a lot of phone calls. They need a real system, right? And they need it in their CRM. They can't use anything else because it'll mess up their own current SOPs. They need it built out in theirs. This is more meant for, as I said, super complex integrations and organizations with advanced requirements. ClearTalk, great for small to medium businesses. Obviously, if the company just needs to book appointments, cool. You can do it with that. You can go for like an enterprise company. It would still work for that too. But if their only goal is booking appointments, then it would definitely work. But it depends on the goals of the companies that want to actually utilize these systems. It's mostly meant for like a go high level or cal.com just to make the booking a lot easier. So it really depends on the goals. Maybe you want Vapi, maybe you want ClearTalk. Both of them are viable. So in the end, if you want something super complex, then Vapi is where you're going to want to be. And enterprise solution, custom CRM, custom everything, Vapi makes it a lot more seamless for that. It takes a lot more work. It's going to be a lot more cost, very expensive for that, but it depends on what the company wants. If they need something simple, they just want it to book, answer frequently asked questions, simple like that, then ClearTalk is where you're going to want to be. Integrate with Go High Level. You can have it up literally just like that in a couple hours. So it really depends on the goals. Both of them are viable options, just like every single other company out there. So after watching that video, you should have a clear understanding of when you should use which platform and why you should use it. So you know, hey, if this customer comes to me, I want to use this, and this is what it's going to look like. Or if this customer comes to me, I'm going to do this, and this is what it's going to look like. Now, not just that, if you want any of our templates for Vapi, ClearTalk, or anything like that, then definitely join in this community right here. I'm going to have the link all in the description for you, right? And what we do in here is we have one-on-one and group coaching calls. So on Tuesday at 4 p.m., we have one coaching call and then another one on Saturday at 2 p.m. We just do coaching calls. We give you personalized support on your exact issue so you can help solve that, right? Not just that, we have a whole classroom area. So we have multiple Go High Level snapshots, which is our exact snapshots that we utilize. We have Vapi blueprints, all the different blueprints for all the different make automations and actually how to utilize them. The next part is our web snippets. So if you need a web snippet for your website, we have that in here. We have a Stripe rebilling system that you can use, different separate make automations like an AI sales call analyzer. We have all of our prompting templates. So if you want all of our templates, we have all these different templates. If you want maybe like a knowledge-based template, we have our knowledge-based templates. SMS copy, we have YouTube video templates. So every YouTube video, we're throwing in all of our templates in here. And all of our weekly training support calls, we're throwing all those recordings so you can take a look back. Maybe someone had the same exact issue as you, and you can get that fixed super easily.